I'm Mindy from Cute Girls Hairstyles, and today we are going to talk all things curls and hair routine. So I'm seeing a trend on TikTok and Instagram going around where it kind of compares like 2018-19 hair curl routines to 2022. And I thought it would be fun. Just for the record, I don't think there's a wrong or a right. It's just very different styling and it produces different results. So I thought it would be fun to do literally a side-by-side of, like, 5 years ago how to do curl routine to today curl routine for some women, and show you what it looks like on their hair and why it's working differently. So if you guys haven't already followed my channel, you can do that by clicking the button right here, and let's get into the video. Okay, so I have parted my hair down the middle. I am going to take this side and just put it out of the way for right now. We will come back to it later. And this side is what I'm going to work with, and I'm going to show you basically on this side what you would have done. I mean, honestly, what I've been doing with my hair since pretty much I was a kid. First and foremost, I used a microfiber towel on my hair on both sides and dried it. On this side, it's damp, but it's not drippy wet. You can see it's like damp, but not drippy wet. I don't call them curls, I call them more like waves, but when I diffuse my hair and do it right and add the right products, I can get it to really bounce and look curlier. This is pretty much damp, and what I would do normally is take a mousse. Today I'm using the Hairitage by Mindy mousse, and I would spray a good amount in my hands, and I would probably even use more than that. Kind of coat, not like that, not like that much in one spot, but I would kind of just put it in my hair, and you can see that while I'm doing this, I am scrunching my hair and just kind of scrunching. And you can see I'm just scrunching, and I kind of use the raking method to put it in my hair. Some people use the pray hands method, but I just kind of rake it in, and you can see I'm starting to get a little more definition in my curl. And now I would take my blow dryer, I would add a diffuser, voila, snap it on, and then I would start diffusing my hair. Now you're gonna see before I start diffusing it, because it's gonna get louder, what I'm going to do is just basically be doing this motion, kind of trying to get it up into the roots, diffuse, 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 like this, and I'm also gonna be using this hand to kind of scrunch and lift as I'm diffusing. With this method, I'm not too worried about disrupting the curls themselves. I'm just kind of, diffusing as I go, using the teeth to keep it off of my scalp. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do now. Okay, so finished basically on this side. For the record, I used the high speed, but I used medium heat. You can use high heat if you want, but I don't recommend it. And you can see the curls I got. So they're still pretty bouncy, they're light, they're a little bit like not uniform. You can see that it's a little more, I don't want to use the word disheveled because that makes it sound negative. It's just not sleek. It's more of a beachy wave or curl look. And I would use it like this for day one, and then on day two, I would probably use a hair refresher like this one to just spritz after I sleep on the curls and kind of just re-scrunch and refresh the curls. Or you could even use something like this Hairitage by Mindy Sugar Spray to spritz a little more on, and it's gonna give you a little bit of grit and a little texture to the curls to just kind of keep them looking what I call beachy. So that's what you're going for on this side. Okay, now I'm gonna show you what I would do on this side if I were doing curls today, and what people are doing now to do their hair a little bit differently. So the first thing I would do is start with my hair wet. And when I mean wet, I mean wet, drippy wet. And the reason is that there are three main bonds in your hair holding them together: disulfide bonds, water bonds, and salt bonds. And if you're having wet water, lots of water in your hair, it allows your hair a lot more flexibility and a lot more where you can maneuver your hair, and you can create those curls, and it reformulates those curl patterns, and then as it dries, it stays in there. This would be too dry. Okay, so I have my Hairitage by Mindy spray bottle. I'm gonna spritz until it's wet, okay? Okay, and this is wet. So you can see it's drippy, so I have stuck a towel under my shoulder, and we are just letting kind of our natural wave and curl hit. I'm going to take a little tiny bit of curl cream. This is the Hairitage by Mindy curl cream, and I am going to put a little blob of it, and I'm going to just kind of pray hands it on, okay? We are trying not to disrupt the curls a ton. We want the curls to just sort of do their thing. We want them to form. Can you see how that chunk is forming? That's what we want. Rake it if you have to, but try not to disrupt the curls too much, okay? Once we got that going, then we are going to add a little bit of gel. I'm gonna use the Hairitage by Mindy gel. And again, we're just gonna kind of lightly scrunch big handfuls, letting the natural curl kind of form. And what you're looking for is this. You see how these are just sort of naturally forming themselves? Once you get to this point, there's two things I've seen people doing. One is some people will take a brush or a comb and run it through and try to kind of form a little bit of a curl with their combs or their brushes, like especially if it's like a curl forming brush. So you can do that, or you can just go with what you naturally get. In this case, you can see my curls. I want you to listen though, because I want you to hear how much moisture there still is in my hair. Can you hear how much water there still is in my hair? And you can see, like, this look, to me, it just, what happens is it forms more, I call them chunks, okay? It's more chunky pieces of curls, and the goal is to do as little disruption of those as humanly possible. So on this side, I was a little more like, whatever, diffuse, 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 and this side I'm gonna be a lot more gentle. I'm going to use the diffuser again on my hairdryer, but I am going to be doing it in a low heat and a low air speed. It's gonna take longer, and you'll see that I'm going to be very gentle in like just lifting and letting the hairdryer sit and then releasing, trying not to break and disrupt these clumps. Okay, done. That's definitely not the faster method. That took probably 3 times the amount of time to dry my hair because I was being so particular and careful, but you can see the difference. If you look, especially on my underneath hairs, I have these intact, like more ringlety looking curls, which is really unusual for me because that's not, typically my curl pattern is more wavy, remember, not like corkscrew curls. So typically my hair looks more like this on its own. So by doing this, I get a lot more of that corkscrew curl shape. You definitely have to just sort of allow your hair to do its thing. When this dries a little bit more up in my roots, it's gonna be even puffier up on top and more voluminous. This side will actually dry a little bit flatter just because it's nearly dry now. So the volume I'm gonna get is there. This side ends up being a little bit shorter, I think, than this side because it's pulling more of that lift up into the curl, and it will get even puffier. Now remember, my hair typically is like a 2B, maybe a 2C. So if you have like a 3A hair, a 3B hair, like even a 3C hair, I mean, doing this version is gonna really get that curl and those little corkscrews going crazy. The gel is gonna help set the hair, which is gonna leave it lasting a little bit longer. This side, I can just refresh it in the morning and it will spruce back up. But mostly I do it for, what am I doing for the day? Like if I'm going to the beach where I know the wind's gonna blow my hair like crazy anyway, I probably would do this style because this looks a little more beachy, like breezy. I'm not as worried about the curls getting messed up. This side is definitely more like placed look. So if I know I'm going somewhere nicer or I want them to go for 3 days and I'm just gonna be at home running around, this side is more what I would tend to do, and then, you know, just let it live and get more lived in as the week goes on. Like I said, in my opinion, there's not a wrong answer. It's just depending on your hair type, how much time you have, where you're going, what you want to style with, what products your hair reacts well to, and you can see 2 very different looks. Okay, I wanted to come into some better lighting and show you. Here is just the beachy side. See it right there. And here is the more curled side. You see the more like defined curls, and there's definitely like more puff on this side now, where this side is kind of falling flatter. So that's it. Okay guys, I hope you found that informative. Hope that helped. Definitely send me pictures of you guys trying out both versions on your hair. I'd love to see them. And if you have more questions, you can leave them in the comments below. Don't forget, if you want to see other videos of mine, you can click any of these buttons over here, and otherwise we'll see you guys next week. Bye guys.